Hello everyone, this is Mar Haddad here. In this lecture, I'm going to explain to you about the wireless hotspot and how to use it. So what is the wireless hotspot? By definition, a wireless hotspot is an open wireless network. That means it is provided to anyone and you can get connected to the wireless without any problem. Okay? But once you are connected to the wireless, doesn't mean that you are connected to the internet. So what happens is that when you connect to the wireless, you'll be redirected to a page where you have to put your username and password, and this page normally is called captive portal. Of course, you may have seen that already in airports, on restaurants or cafes, where they provide for you possibility to get connected to the internet. It can be for trial period, for example, they give it to you for 10, 15, 30 minutes for free, and then after that you need to pay to be able to stay connected to the internet. Okay, so this is exactly what is the hotspot. Normally, when you connect to the hotspot, you go to a page and then you have to put the username and the password inside this page, which is, as I said, a captive portal. And this username and password is already configured by the network administrator who is working in that place and who can create the accounts, and he can provide for them a speed profile to say, for example, I would like to assign this account to that speed, then you cannot get more than the speed that you are assigned to it. Now, the network engineer can also use a radio server. That means instead of creating the accounts in the router where the hotspot is being configured, he can use a radio server which is connected to that router, and on this radio server he can create the accounts and he can create the profiles. That means the speed normally, and then every user who is trying to authenticate to get connected to the internet on the hotspot, the username and password will be sent to the router, and the router will send it to the radio server, and the radio server will check if it's matched with the database that is inside the radio server. Then the user is able to be connected to the internet. So this is in brief what is the hotspot, and in this course I'm going to explain to you how you can configure the hotspot on the router, and also we use the user manager to authenticate the users externally. Now we know where the hotspot is being used, and we have a brief idea of how it works. So in the upcoming lecture, I'm going to explain to you what happens in the background on the router when a user is trying to connect to the hotspot in order to be able to get connected to the internet. So I hope that this lecture was enjoyable for you, and let's go directly now to the upcoming lecture to see what happens in the background when some user is trying to connect to our wireless hotspot.